This would be a very important read. I know people over the years have thought that I've uh, emphasized and overemphasized everything to do with this concept of legal surnames, and that your given name isn't legal. It's just unfortunately mixed in there due to lack of knowledge, which could destroy you. So this is a good read, and we'll just break off of that for a second, and I'll start to. It's Cambridge University Press, and it's the other title on it. It is the production of legal identities proper to states, the case of the permanent family surname. So you can look this up. It is available. At least it was when it's written by James C. Scott and Jeremy Matthias, and it's a Yale University, study paper. But very, very interesting. Some of the wordings that are in here, just to give you a little bit to whet your palate for the study. It has a couple quotes. The fixing of personal names, and in particular permanent patronyms or surnames, as legal identities seems everywhere to have been, broadly speaking, a state project. We're talking about a legal state project. As early and imperfect legal identification, the permanent patronym was linked to such vital administrative functions as tithe and tax collection, property registers, conscription lists, and census rolls. Only just reading you some little key things that it states. It says, however, the surname system that emerged involved the use of hereditary and fixed last names. The use of last names did not become common until well after the Norman conquest. And then it says the use of patronyms then spread, albeit unevenly, with the implementation of the poll tax under Richard II. Okay, so they're just telling you, they had a reason for it, and the only way it would work would be to get you to believe that it's yours when it's implemented and imposed by the state. They can impose whatever they want, but they cannot impose it on you. They can only impose it upon themselves. They have to have a willing subject to have that happen. They even mention that modern citizenship, they call it statecraft. Yeah, it's very crafty. Okay? On and on through this essay, you're going to learn that this is, definitely something that didn't come by chance, and it's a good way for Satan to collect souls. So he says, you're mine, and then who knows? Well, if you're silly enough to believe that you have an artificial title, then certainly I can put an artificial chemicals into you and other things and start modifying what is natural into something that's not natural. And yeah, of course, with that concept being embraced by some of the people who send me nasty messages at times, thinking they can outwit this system and that I'm off in left field, the problem that's going to happen to them, they'll be part of that because they're remaining legal, and then they will have jurisdiction over them to do whatever they want to do to toy around with you while you carry their title privately that you shouldn't be. So unfortunately, lack of knowledge will destroy the majority, and yes, many will be experiencing the plagues of Revelation. Another good journal, it's called Yale Law Journal. It's called Legal Personality by Brian Smith. You can find this definitely online. Nothing that I have here is not findable or researchable. It just takes a little bit of work, but I mean, some things are available on that evil worldwide web of deception, and there are some things, but truth will part its way through. Just unfortunately, some people are getting things mixed up. They're mixing up truth with fiction, and then especially regarding the Bible. That's where the biggest haze is coming from. So I've lost a few people on the journey that have definitely exited out of the watching the videos, but I mean, it's going to happen. I would expect it. The wheat from the tares. Anyways, the journal makes a couple very interesting points. Listen very closely to how it starts off this study. It says, to be a legal person is to be the subject of rights and duties. To confer legal rights or to impose legal duties therefore, is to confer legal personality. If society, by effective sanctions and through its agents, will coerce A, they're using someone we're going to refer to as A, to act or to forbear in favor of B, so that's a secondary, not in the first place. A is doing this. It says, will coerce A to act or forbear in favor of B. B has a right and A owes a duty now. Are you understanding how that would work with the given name? The given name has the duty imposed upon it because he intermingled with B's concept of stupidity, of fiction. So he gets his just deserts. And it's a bitter dessert to swallow when you find out that everything you've ever registered, you did it improperly, and now B gets to charge you for not knowing that you were there first. So if you want to end up in last place, keep mixing in your first place name in the last place commingling or merger. And you will definitely be owing B, even though you're really in the A position. You got to read the document. It's a good document. It's not an intense read. Not many pages. I highlighted, as you see, I always do that. I highlight key points, but there's a lot in there, and it'll give you an understanding. They're not hiding anything, okay? And if they are trading on anything to do with those fictitious names, it's none of your business. Get it through your head. It's none of your business. They're not selling you. You're consenting to be stupid, to do it. And therefore, they're only selling their own blocks of their own last names. And they're just you're hosting the event to be deceived. So now the burden's resting on you, not this, oh, this bad state's doing it to me. No. They have the right to force legal masks on people already wearing a legal mask or a fiction. And that's what person means in the legal system. A mask. You're already on the training wheels, and that's why they're going to keep on turning up the steam. And this time it doesn't seem like they're boiling the frog. Now, slowly they're boiling the frog pretty fast. And if you aren't seeing things crumbling around you, then you've definitely got your eyes closed. And if you want to remain in there, unfortunately, as I said in the last video, it's suicidal, because you're actually giving away your eternity for a temporary gain of what it looks like title in the legal world that's soon to collapse. So anyways, and the last little thing I'm going to mention here is I printed off this thing on identification, just a neat little one-pager that I got off of that crazy Wikipedia from the free encyclopedia, and it starts off explaining identification, information. Remember, that's information, the arms. The function of identification is to map a known quantity to an unknown entity so as to make it known. Okay, well, they have a lot of quantity of surnames, but they don't work against you until you try to attach yourself to it, and then it has its personality that can now control that individual under a spell. Okay, nothing's binding unless you basically ignore the points that we've been talking about in these videos. So hopefully this is helping, and I'm not doing this because I just like to spend time on a Sunday or a Saturday or a Friday doing this. It's because knowledge needs to be shared, but it has to be accurate. So if anybody is able to send something that's not tripe or nonsense to me to discuss something, that's fine. But so far so good. The majority of the audience, I believe, is comprehending this, and there are a few stragglers that would like to be stubborn and egotistical and just continue with wasted emails that I will ignore. If they haven't got the point yet that I've ignored them, then maybe they need to spend more time realizing I'm not emailing them back. So we'll leave it at that, and hopefully everybody is gaining true knowledge and taking the time to research it through the scripture, and of course, using the tools that we have, which are available. So I'm sure you're not going to have too hard of a time finding, a decent dictionary out there, because most of them get thrown away in discard piles anyways.